So we are learning about Tefillah, and we're going through the Siddur, but I just want to show you this awesome thing from this week's Parsha, and it's about Tefillah. So Avram sends Eliezer, who I just learned was Nimrod's son. You're okay with that? You knew that? That's crazy. So he sent Eliezer to find a wife for Yitzhak. And Eliezer then goes and he has this whole thing where he starts davening. And he says, Hashem, please send me a sign that this is the right person for Yitzhak. And the sign is going to be that she will give water to me and water to the camels. And there's all beautiful ideas that really you want someone who's really kind and they care not just about humans, they care about animals, they just want to give that. But, so he's davening, please send me the sign. And then she comes. And then she takes him to her house, and then he retells the story of, I got to the well and I was praying, and then this is what he says. Awesome. I'll show you. It's over here. I'll read it in English. I came today to the spring, and I said, Hashem, God of my master Abraham, if you would graciously make successful the way on which I go, behold, I'm standing by the spring of water. Let it be that the young woman who comes out to draw, and whom I shall say, please give me some water to drink from your jug, and who will answer, you may also drink, and I will draw water for you come still. She shall be the woman who you've designated for my son. Now watch this. Pasuk 45. Chapter 24, Pasuk 45 says this. Ani terem achele ledaber el libi. What does that mean? Ani terem achale ledaber el libi. I had not even finished speaking to my heart. The whole story is saying I was davening. Please Hashem, get the right woman, show me a sign, and she give water to me and water to the camels. I had not yet finished speaking to my heart when she turned out. Do you know what Tefillah is? Tefillah is speaking to your own heart. Speaking to your heart. Open your heart. As Rabbi Nachman says, Tefillah is less about what's coming out of your mouth as what's going into your heart. We said the word for to pray is lehit palel, reflexive, something you're doing to yourself. Can you hear those words? That's why someone asked me the other day, if I'm thinking, is that called Tefillah? So in a way, because you're thanking Hashem and praising Hashem, but it's not. Tefillah is an act of speaking, of bringing it out into reality. And this makes sense now because I want to hear it. I want to hear my own words. When you hear your own words saying something, they become much more powerful. And you can lihit palel. I'm connecting to myself in a deeper way.
The way that Eliezer Davin basically asking for a specific sign, is that something we should be doing?
Apparently not. Apparently that's not the sort of thing we should do. Because in general, to ask for a specific sign is somewhat miraculous, I think. Or to ask for any sign. Hashem, just send me a sign. Well, you can't really read the signs anyway, or you could misread the signs or interpret the signs. Okay, so this is what we've done. You woke up this morning. You woke up this morning, and you smiled, and you were like, mundane, mundane, lefanecha. And it was basically one of the spiritually highest moments of your life. Yeah? The first 30 seconds of your day today, it was one of the highest moments of your life. Take a deep breath. And what you could try and do, obviously the word for breath is neshima and the word for soul is neshama. And it says, you gave me back my neshama. So try and be conscious of your very first breath through your nose and feel your neshama coming back into your body. So you wake up in the morning, alarm goes off and you're like, mundane. I acknowledge my neshama. Lefanech, in front of you, Hashem. And then just stop. Mundane. Melech chai v'kayam. She'achazat b'nishma. Rabbi manatach. What an amazing start to the day. You don't need to do anything. After that, you basically did that. If you do that right, you don't have to do it. You can just watch TV for the rest of the day. No. After you do that, you won't want to watch TV at all, ever. Okay, so then you got up. So then you wash your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try them. Go to the bathroom. We had a bit of a machlokas yesterday, but I checked. I'm going to go with that after you go to the bathroom, you then wash your hands again. You get dressed. If you're putting on your tzitzit, you'll say your bracha on your tzitzit. Now, it's the first bracha of the day.
Would you say Asher Yitzhar?
Before? Okay, I like that. I haven't said the bracha on tzitzit for many years because once you wear a talis, but it means why I said that way round seems to make sense because otherwise you're saying those 3 brachas not fully dressed. I think you should get dressed first and then make those brachas. But I'm not sure. We can check. I'm not a posek, but it makes sense to me to be dressed before you say that. But either way. And then, but whichever bracha you're going to make first, it's the first time you're going to say the word Baruch. And you're going to say the word Baruch at least 100 times every day for the rest of your life. Now, what percentage of those 100 times a day are going to be conscious? Baruch. And we spoke last time, what does Baruch mean? I'm pulling down God consciousness. I'm increasing God consciousness. God is the source and the wellspring. If you could just make 10 brachas a day, consciously, it would completely change your life. Completely change 10 moments of actual God consciousness. So maybe when you start, you can say every Asher Yatzar I make throughout the day, at least that one, I'm going to give a bit of time to. I'm not going to be walking up the stairs while I'm saying it. Maybe every Borei Pri Ha'etz. Just start. But really, we want to get to the point where we're not just throwing out brachas. Just throwing it out. Baruch Atah Hashem. You're using God's name here. You really want to have this amazing opportunity to speak face to face. You don't even call the Rosh Yeshiva you. You say, how's the Rosh Yeshiva? Can I get the Rosh Yeshiva? But with Hashem, we're saying, Baruch Atah. Blessed are you. You. It's very intimate. It's an immense... To throw out this intimate phrase just... it's a shame. It's a waste. A bracha levatala, some might say. There's something called a bracha levatala. It means you make the wrong bracha. So instead of saying shehakol niyeh bidvaro on your water, you say borei pri ha'etz. You just get the completely wrong bracha. So it's called a bracha levatala, a wasted bracha. However, and that's true. For me, a bracha that is said without kavanah, without intention, that's a wasted bracha. Because the purpose of the bracha is connection to Hashem, and God consciousness, and mindfulness, and joy, and thanks, and all amazing things. So if you said the bracha but you didn't get that, that was you wasted the bracha. So, spiritually speaking, if you say the wrong words but you really mean the bracha, it wasn't a wasted bracha. If you say the right words but with no kavanah, that was a wasted bracha. Once again, halachically, this isn't true. Spiritually, it's true. But it's not a choice. You can say the right words and mean them. Amazing opportunity. Baruch Atah Hashem. So this is microdosing. This is Jewish microdosing. Every bracha. I got to pop some psilocybin just to feel alive, just so I can function in the world. It's like, how about popping some brachas? Just popping another one. Just all throughout. So you've got Shachris, which is basically a full-on trip. It's a whole journey, as we said. Physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. You go on a wild journey. And then throughout the day you're microdosing just to tap you back in. And then you got Mincha and Mariv, which is a half journey. It's not a full journey, but it's a boost in the middle of the day. Now by the time it gets to whatever you're doing, you're just living in a whole psychedelic world of God consciousness without taking anything. Just being conscious of your prayer, of the word Baruch. So the first bracha you're going to make, Baruch Atah Hashem. Elokeinu melech ha'olam. Right, remember, before every bracha you're going to think 3 things. Number 1 thing, what am I about to say? Am I aware of what I'm about to say? I'm about to say Baruch Atah Hashem. What does Baruch mean? On Netilat Yadayim, what am I really saying? Wow, Hashem gave us hands and water I'm washing my hands as well. Like, understand what you're about to say. Second, who am I saying it to? Am I just saying the words of the bracha, or am I speaking to someone who is actually there? Third thing is, how am I saying it? Am I saying it consciously? Am I saying it joyfully? Am I saying it resentfully? Am I mumbling it? Am I enunciating it? I once went to the Amshin of a Rebbe. So the Amshin of a Rebbe is completely beyond time. He just times he's gone beyond time. So he makes kiddush like midnight and davens mincha there. And the Beit Din apparently wanted to go and excommunicate him, or there was something. They were like, "Hold on, it's a bit. You can't really do that." So they sent 3 rabbis to his house, and he invited them in. They sat down, and he said, "I'm just going to make a bracha." He was making a shah kol or something, and he was like, "Ba." Ha ha ha. 10 minutes later, whatever, they got up and they left, and they were like, "Okay, we're sorry to disturb you." And they went back, and they said, "Don't mess with him. He knows what he's doing. He's real." I saw Rav Morgenstern make a bracha at a wedding once. Rav Ichimaya Morgenstern made a bracha about 14 years ago. We all knew, I was sure Rav Moshe Chaim was there as well. And he got up, all these 8 rabbis there, and he got up and he did the last bracha, and he was like, "Ba ha ha," flipping through all these pages of Kabbalistic names of Hashem. He was like, "Ba ha ha ha." Me and Rosh Chaim were like, our souls left our body. Lots of the other rabbis were like, "What was that?" Me and Moshe Chaim were like, One time the Amshin of a Rebbe was walking home, lived in Hanof, I think, and it was quite steep uphill. So he said to him, he was a bit old, "Rebbe, do you want some water?" And he said, "I really do, I'm thirsty, but I don't have the strength to make a bracha." We're like, "What do you mean? Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam." But that's not how you make a bracha. This is how you make a bracha. So you're not meant to do that, by the way. You'd look a bit strange if you did that. But just to understand that if you get what you're saying. So your first bracha, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, asher kidishano b'mitzvotav v'tzivano al Netilat Yadayim. Number one thing to understand when you say a bracha like this. Asher kidishano b'mitzvotav. You made us holy through your mitzvahs. Kadshenu b'mitzvotecha, we say. Kadshenu b'mitzvotecha. Mitzvah and kadosh always come together, basically. Because the purpose of mitzvahs is to become kadosh, which we spoke about before, I believe. Kadosh means this balance between physical and spiritual. Not completely separate, not separate, a balance. You're completely immanent and intimate, but you're not controlled or held down by that. You're above it. So you're lifting the physical up to the spiritual world, and you're bringing the spiritual down into the physical. That's what it really means to be kadosh. Marriage is called kedushin, because you're separating yourself from every other woman, and she's separating herself from every other man, but in order to become intimate with each other. All areas of, that's what kedusha is. I'm taking a step back in order to be present. So that's what a mitzvah is meant to do. Asher kidishano b'mitzvotav v'tzivano la'aniach tefillin. Why am I putting on tefillin? To be kadosh, to become godly. I want to raise my whole spiritual level to godliness. So the very first one we say, Asher kidishano b'mitzvotav v'tzivano al Netilat Yadayim. Where exactly did God command us to wash our hands? Which one of the 630 mitzvahs is that? Asher kidishano b'mitzvotav v'tzivano al achilat matzah. It says in the Torah, eat matzah. Where does it say on Netilat Yadayim in the Torah?
When they would wash their hands and feet before they would come to the sanctuary. Back in the Mishkan.
Interesting. Is washing your hands a mitzvah from the Torah?
I assume so.
I would too, but it's not.
What?
It's not.
Is there Torah?
Yes. So how can you say Asher kidishano b'mitzvotav? How about this? We're coming up to Chanukah. Oh my goodness, we better start learning Chanukah Torah. Chanukah is the highest days of the year. Asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivano l'adlik ner Chanukah. Did God command us to light Hanukkah lights? No. Asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivano l'kro et ha-Megillah. So we have rabbinical mitzvahs, 7 actually. Don't know if I can remember them all. Eruvim and 7. Yes. Eruvin, Erev Tafshilin, I think, washing your hands, Chanukah candles, Megillah, other ones. So there are 620 mitzvahs in all, actually. 620 mitzvahs, there's lots of Torah about that, whatever. But we say Asher Kiddushanu. Why? One answer is because there is a mitzvah in the Torah to listen to the rabbis. So if the rabbis make a mitzvah, although that is one answer, I was always a bit uncomfortable with that answer because then we should say Asher Kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivano lishma el divrei chazal or something. But what it's saying is that these mitzvahs, and we've said this a few times, the rabbinical mitzvahs are in a way a next step beyond the written one. They're higher. Why would a rabbinical mitzvah be greater than a Torah mitzvah? For example, the Kabbalists say the 2 holiest festivals are Hanukkah and Purim, but those are the ones that humans made. Those are man-made festivals, so why are they the holiest?
Man becoming active in the relationship.
Partnership. It's the partnership between us and Hashem. We ought to give the example of Turnus Rufus saying to Rabbi Akiva, what's better, the work of God or the work of man? Because he didn't like circumcision. He said, God makes you like that and you're going to do that. And he said, well, what would you rather eat, wheat or bread? So wheat is the work of God, bread is the work of man and God. It's partnership. So partnership is very, very holy. Lo b'shamayim. It's not... Some people come up to me and say, you know what? Judaism's a rabbinic religion. And I'm like, yeah, it's meant to be. Hashem said, I want you guys to basically create, in partnership with me, this very high conscious way of being. And when we say rabbinic religion, you've got to understand who Rabbi Akiva was and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. They're not rabbis like me and even my rabbis. These are like angels and prophets and enlightened, completely awakened, enlightened human beings. So 100% it's a rabbinic, and that's a good thing. We like that. So Netilat Yadayim. Now your hands are pure. Many sources say it's very good if you remember to lift your hands up to your face when you say that. Al Netilat Yadayim. Because what does Netilat Yadayim actually mean? It means taking. Like Al Netilat Lulav. You take the lulav. So it means taking or even lifting up. So you lift up your hands, Al Netilat Yadayim. But what you are saying, you're declaring from now on, my thought, speech, and action in this world is going to be pure and holy. Hashem commanded me to be holy, and my hands represent my human manifestation in the world. So I'm going to wash them, keep them holy. Yes.
I also heard that like one hand's supposed to be fire, the other one water, and like you're lifting like Shemayim too. Like
Interesting. So one hand is fire, one hand is water, and the word for heaven in Hebrew is Shamayim, which is made up of the 2 words Eish and Mayim. Comes from a midrash. Rashi actually brings it that Michael and Gabriel were fighting. Fire and water were fighting. And fire said, you know how you serve Hashem? You've got to be hot and go up. And water is like, no, you've got to be cool and go down. Fire's no, hot, up, water's cool down. And then they both looked up and they realized, hold on, we're both serving the same God. And we need some fire and we need some water. You can't cook without fire and water. So it's when they realized how we're each serving a part in creation, then that's called Shamayim. When we don't judge other people, and we see everyone's got their part to play. Next is Asher Yatzal. If you went to the bathroom. Baruch atah Hashem again. Asher, well, we could just give a whole class on Asher Yatzal. Asher Yatzal et Adam b'chachma. Asher Yatzal et Adam b'chachma. You created us with wisdom. Whenever it says, where else do we say something was created b'chokhmah. Ma rabu ma'asecha Hashem kulam b'chokhmah asita. How incredible is your creation. This is in the brachas before the Shema. How incredible. Ma rabu ma'asecha Hashem kulam b'chokhmah. You made everything with chokhmah. So whenever it says you made the human with chokhmah or everything with chokhmah, two meanings. One of them is just brilliantly. You're very wise. You're very intelligent. DNA. How are you going to explain DNA? But the other one is that things are actually made of chokhmah. Chokhmah is the consciousness. Reality is created, is just a manifestation of consciousness. Kulam b'chokhmah asita. You made everything with, what's everything? What's the substance of everything? Chokhmah. That's keeping everything alive. So you made me with chokhmah, and you gave me consciousness. You have all these. Basically, what you're meant to be doing is appreciating your body. It says it's good for refuah. Someone who's sick should really start saying this bracha with more kavanah. I had this big chiddush about 2 months ago. The Jewish people are compared to a body. We're one body. That's why when it says "Ve'ahavta l'recha kamocha," you should love your fellows yourself. Some people say that means literally yourself because they are yourself. It's like your right hand loves your left hand. If you're cutting something and your right hand cuts your left hand, the left hand would be stupid to come stab the right hand. It's like, oh, we're part of the same body here. And that was a mistake. So then I worked out, if the whole Jewish people are one body, that means the bracha for the Jewish people, what's the bracha for the body is Asher Yatzah. And it says in the bracha, which literally means if any part of my body stops working, I can't really stand in front of Hashem. I'm sick or I die. But in terms of the Jewish people, it's saying if there's one Jew who's not part of it, then we can't stand in front of Hashem. We need every Jew to be part of the Jewish people. You've got to love every Jew. 3:15, by the way, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, I'm giving classes on Ahavat Yisrael, loving every Jew through Bayam Darkecha. Very powerful. Just to see every Jew, love every Jew. However much you disagree with them, you have to love every Jew deeply and really and authentically. And then the end of the bracha says, Baruch atah Hashem, reifech al basar umafli la'asat. Heals all flesh. What does that mean, heals all flesh? Not only humans. Any healing comes through Hashem. By the way, it doesn't mean heals everyone because people get sick and die. It doesn't mean Hashem heals everyone. But it means that He heals, all healing comes through Hashem. Umafli la'asat. Mafli la'asat literally means does wonders. But the sages say that it means that He stuck a neshama into a body. Stuck a completely spiritual entity into a completely physical entity, put them together somehow. That is unbelievable. So for us to also remember what the body is. The body is literally a vehicle for your soul.
As you said, from my flesh.
Oh, well, He said from my flesh. That means your body is actually represents the 613 mitzvahs. There are 613 Evarim and Gidim, and when we have a hand, so we understand what a spiritual hand is. And so literally, yes, through your own body, Tomer Devorah speaks about that a lot. Tomer Devorah says, actually, in your own physicality is a hint to Adam Kadman, and it's a hint to all these high spiritual things. You're a physical representation of an extremely high spiritual reality. And everything is, the whole of this reality. The only reason you have a father, a mother, is so you can understand Avinu, my father, and my mother, and just to get these high... The whole of this earth and this universe is just a mashal, it's a metaphor, it's a physical metaphor to help you try and understand somewhat what the true high spiritual reality is. So you can see through that.
That's why I don't like whenever anyone talks about whenever we read it, Hashem's hand did this and that, and they say oh, that's just a mushal. No, our hand's the mushal.
That's right.
Hashem.
And who says that? Rashi says that. Because when it says Hashem took you out of Egypt with a strong right hand, Rashi says Yad Mamash, an actual hand. So everyone's freaking out. What, an actual hand? Is no. What Hashem has is an actual hand. This isn't an actual hand. This is some little, we've made of Play-Doh, plasticine little things.
We can't anthropomorphize God, or He's incorporeal.
Well, God anthropomorphizes Himself. He wrote the Torah, and He said, I heard your cries and I see your pain and I took you out with a stronger hand. And I get angry. Why? Just so we can understand it. So we're not anthropomorphizing him. He's doing it to himself.
Well, I was going to say, like, our, I guess, understanding of corporeality is like a symbol to relate to Hashem. So like this world is more or less the world of symbolism and
All